All right, guys, the Utah Jazz lose 3 in a row against, and tonight it's against the Denver Nuggets. This is the Utah Jazz post-game show on the Hoopsner channel. Painful stuff, and it's not the end of the world for the Jazz because there was a lot of things to like about this game, and one major thing to be a little frustrated about at this point in the season. But first, let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. I was excited to watch the Rudy Gobert-Nikola Jokic matchup. Probably two of the most different players in the NBA at the same position. You have Jokic, who is just an incredible passer, facilitator. The offense runs through him for Denver, and it definitely did tonight. And then you've got Rudy Gobert, who is a defensive monster, best defensive center in the NBA, defensive player of the year. It's an incredible, interesting matchup. Through 3 quarters, the Jazz actually did really well. They were up going into the fourth quarter, they were up on the Nuggets. And you could argue that that Rudy Gobert did a pretty good job against Jokic, who couldn't hit shots tonight. He was 0 for 3 from 3, 3 for 9 from the field. But then you look and see that he had 16 assists, which is incredible. Some of them are so subtle, it's like you don't notice them. But the ball moves when Jokic is on the floor, and because the Nuggets have so many good shooters, whether it's Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, Paul Millsap, or a lot of their bench guys that can shoot. Malik Beasley for the Nuggets had the biggest plus-minus tonight, which is kind of frustrating if you're the Jazz because you thought coming to this season that your bench would be a dominant force, and it has not been the last while, at least the last 3 games. So the Denver Nuggets are great, and they have a good defense right now. I don't think it's going to hold to continue to be a top 5 defense like it's been, but it looks legitimate. Pretty good, especially because probably Paul Millsap is back. They can be a top 15 defense. And when they have an offense as good as theirs, that's probably good enough. For Utah, they can't score. For 3 games, it's like one game, like the last couple games, the last game they lose because they can't defend. The game before, they've got to have a defense and offensive production on the same night. I'm going crazy because one night the Jazz have great defense, but they lose because they can't score. Another night they have great offense, but they lose because they can't defend. Tonight the Jazz played great defense through 3 quarters, but a team like the Denver Nuggets, who has such a good offense, if you can't score for 4 quarters, you're going to lose because you can only defend that well for so long. And in the fourth quarter, the Nuggets exploded. You would hope that at some point the Jazz can start hitting shots, but no one on the team can hit shots. And anyone can blame Donovan Mitchell. That's fine, but he was getting to the rim. He couldn't hit tonight. Donovan Mitchell was 7 for 22. 2 or 3 of those were heaves at the end of quarters, but he's also going to the rim. Things that normally fall last season aren't falling. That's what makes me want to pull my hair out, is that the shots that he normally makes are not falling. The 3-point shot is just not there for some reason for Donovan. And I don't know why, but Donovan was 0 for 7 from 3. He can't make a 3 right now, and it will come. The shot will come. We know it will because he did it last year. But right now it's not, and we're losing. Rudy Gobert had a nice game. It's 2 for 8 from the free throw line is frustrating because he was shooting 75% from the free throw line. I don't know what happened to this team and their shooting. I it's mind-boggling. Joe Ingles, 1 for 5 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. Can't hit a shot. Ricky Rubio had a pretty nice night. 11 points, but he was 3 for 10 from the field. He looked better in the first half and the second. Rubio was 1 for 4 from 3, so 25%. The thing that's killing you with Ricky Rubio, 6 turnovers. That's killer, and that's part of the game. I mean, that's 6 points or so. That he had a couple that were transition passes that were just terrible. And if you consider how the Jazz were up by 4 in the third quarter, and if you could have been up by like 10, it's a different game. But those turnovers are killer, and that's 2 nights. That's like 11 turnovers in the last 2 games. He has more turnovers than he does assists in these games. It's unsustainable. So 6 assists, but 6 turnovers. It's a wash. And if you have 6 assists and 6 turnovers, but you shoot 3 for 10 from the field, that's not going to win games. Plain and simple. Dante Exum, we were all holding our breath because it looked like that shoulder got tweaked, but then he came back. So it's nice to see Dante back. He was a +2 for the game. Donovan Mitchell, like If there's one thing Jazz fans could be happy about, all right, we're done with complaining, blah. If we'd have hit shots, they probably win this game. But that's every game, and you got to give credit. Blah, 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 blah. Donovan Mitchell's healthy, and that's what matters because he is the star of this team. And this team will go as far as Donovan Mitchell goes. And right now, just the three-point shot is not falling. And because the three-point shot is not falling, they can guard him inside. So as soon as that three-point shot is falling, he'll explode. But right now it's not. And I don't know why. It'll come. He's a young player. It's only his second year. When that three-point shot starts falling, the Jazz are just going to expect it. But right now it's not. And that's why part of the reason the Jazz are losing. Also, Ricky Rubio, if you could please stop turning the ball over, that would help win games. And that could have won the game tonight. And there were other players that were hitting shots. Jay Crowder was 8 for 15 tonight, 4 for 9 from 3. Jay Crowder was fantastic tonight. And I don't know. Oh, finally, Derek Favors had a really nice night. Shout out to Derek Favors, who is a warrior. He 6 for 10 from the field, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 turnovers from Derek. So Derek was really nice tonight. Good to see. All right, guys, like and subscribe to this channel. 3-game losing streak, but we're going to keep going. Streaking games, winning, not crying. Maybe a little. Talk to you later.